Well, I just thought I would do a bit of an update on the gazing ball. I've had quite a few people ask, how is the progress of the gazing ball going? So I thought I'd take this opportunity to actually show you. I'm ready to actually grout this particular area that I'm showing you now. I've masked it off. And the reason why I've masked it is because beyond that masked area is not finished and not totally finished. So as you can see here, if I zoom in, there's quite, large holes here and there, smaller holes that I still need to fill in. And although the grout would fill in that hole without a problem, but I really want to use some glass tessera. So we've got quite a bit still to be done, and I'm only really doing it when I feel like it, so that adds to the time. But I think it's looking really quite good. I've still got quite a bit to be done around this side here. And remember, I'm only showing you one side of the gazing ball. There's still underneath the gazing ball that you can't see that needs to be done. I'm going to be grouting in Liticol epoxy grout, the same grout that I used on the base here, because that's a waterproof grout, more durable than sanded grout, and also smoother in its finish. But of course you can use an appropriate sanded grout if you don't want to use the epoxy grout. And I want to say thank you very much to Mosaic, where the epoxy grout came from, and I'll put the links in the description box of the video in case you'd like to go to their store and have a look at what products they've got. And around here I've still got more filling in to do. I'm going to be ripping out the blue here in the area there. I'm going to be ripping that out and redoing that for the third time, and hopefully I'll be happy with it, which means it'll be the last time. But of course all this does take quite a bit of time to fill in and do this. But anyway, I'm going to start mixing the grout up, and then we'll come back and start grouting. Well, the Liticol epoxy grout is all mixed up. I'm ready to apply it. Now, people have their own preferences and ways of applying their grouts to their tessera. I just basically use a spoon, apply it to the tessera, and then use my hands. You can use rubber kidneys and all sorts of other things, but I just like using my hands to sort of push it into the grout lines. You need to be careful because there could still be a glass piece sticking up slightly that might have a bit of a pointy bit to it. I have gone over it a couple of times, but just to make sure, you just still go very carefully with that. So let's get into it. Some people hate grouting, but I'm sure in all my videos I say that I love it, and I do. I just think it really brings the piece together and it feels so good. Going to remove all the excess, and I must say this time I mixed up pretty well the right amount. I'm really happy with it. Make sure that you push it into all the grout lines so that you don't have any areas that you've missed. Just do a final check before I sprinkle water onto it, because once you add water to it, then you can't grout it in those areas because it needs to be dry when you're grouting. You can't just add some water and then if you miss a bit you go back over it. It's too late, it's got water on it. So you have to wait till it dries and then grout that area. Now, if you're using epoxy grout, make sure you order quite a few of these sponges. They're really good, but they do gunk up. So, and you can always cut them in half as well to get more out of them, but you're going to need these. Just double check to see if there's any areas that need the grout removed from. You know, for instance, around these glass gems, sometimes you can get the grout mounting up around them, so just clean that out to make sure you get really nice grout lines. There you go. It's better already there. All right, that's looking really quite good. I don't feel any drag on the tessera. If you've got drag coming from the tessera pulling on the sponge, then you need to use more water because there's still a residue of the epoxy on it. But in this particular instance, the sponge is flowing very, very easily over the tessera. All I'm doing now is just going in with a ordinary rag just to wipe off any of the water that's on there, because you want to clean it while the water is still wet. You don't really want to leave it and then go in and clean it when it's dry. I like to clean it when it's kind of still on there, and it wipes up usually pretty well. I can take off this tape and clean underneath that because there's going to be some cleaning to do there, as you can see. So I'm just going to go in with this sponge and just wipe that tessera over just there. It's important now that you go in and you have a thorough look at your tessera to make sure that you haven't buried any tessera under the grout. You know, the little areas that you're feeling like here and here, make sure that they're all totally clear of the grout. You don't want any grout on the surface. But that looks pretty good. I'm really happy with that. So I'll let this now completely cure. I noticed that in some parts where I've used the white thin set, it's come up between the tessera and you can see a few white bits, but it's nothing major. It always amazes me when you're using a one colour grout how much it actually changes the look of the overall mosaic. I'm always amazed at that, but I think it's looking really quite good. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've taken something away from it. Put a comment down in the bottom of the comment section of the YouTube channel and let me know if you're looking at creating a large outdoor gazing ball, or perhaps you've already created one, or perhaps you're looking at creating a small one. Put a comment down in the bottom of the comment section. And if you enjoyed the video, please think about giving it a like. If you saw value in it, please share it far and wide. And if you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. And I'll see you in the next video. Keep creating and enjoy.